Hello, brilliant minds. Welcome to Research Methodology with Dr. Pree. On today's episode, we are going to be talking about the research process. What is involved in it? What are the different parts that you should look out for in the research process? And the analogy that we're going to use is going on a road trip. So imagine that your parents wake you up during the holidays. Maybe it's the summer holidays, the term has just finished and you want to spend some quality time with your family, and you come up with a great idea that you want to go on a road trip. Let's say it's a road trip that you have gone on annually with your parents, and basically it is a ritual in the family that you need to go on this road trip. And the whole take-home message from this road trip is that you're supposed to learn things along the way. So it's not just you going on a road trip and enjoying a holiday. You have got to learn certain lessons on that road trip. Research is a trip. It is a road trip. And in this episode, I'd like to give you a map on how you can go about the research process. Okay, so to go on a road trip, you don't just wake up in the morning and start driving with no idea of where you are going. Of course, you need to have a destination. Research also works the same way. Before you collect data, before you start with your writing, you need a clear direction. And in this case, you can say that your destination is your research question. So that is where your research is supposed to take you. One of the things that I always tell my students is that when you're asking research questions, you need to ask them in such a way that whatever data that you collect at the end of the day, or whatever evidence or portfolio you are creating at the end of the day, it needs to answer that question. So every road trip needs a destination, and therefore every research journey or every research study also needs a destination. And your research question is your destination. It tells you exactly where you are going or what you are trying to find out. So for example, how do postgraduate students use AI tools to support their academic writing? Then you have now discovered, or you have now talked with your parents, and you have come up with your direction. Now, how then are you going to get there? You then have the route. So the route is what you need to decide to get to your destination. And in research, this is your methodology. So for your research question, how are you going to go about collecting the answers to answer, or how are you going to go about collecting the data to answer this question? All right, so your methodology explains the overall route that you would take, all right, to answer the research questions that you have. And generally speaking, your research methodology could fall into various categories. It could be a qualitative research, it could be a quantitative research, or it could be mixed methods. After you guys have decided on the route that you're going to take, then you now need road intelligence. So before you go on a trip, you would check Google Maps. I use, for example, Petals because I don't have Google Maps. You would ask friends. In the olden days, you would actually open a geographical map and actually look for all of the routes and look for all of the roads. You'll try and find out if there are any shortcuts to where you are going. You'll try and read travel books, travel vlogs. You would go on YouTube and watch those. You could even go on TikTok and look for one influencer or another who has been where you have gone to. In academic research, we could term that as your literature review. So before you embark on your study, who has done something similar before? Who has done a various aspect of this issue that you are researching? Who has perhaps gotten an idea of where you are going? Perhaps you're looking at an issue in a various context and somebody else has done the exact same thing in another context. Your literature review will help you literally to review all of the literature that is out there surrounding or that has got to do with your research subject, or in this case, your research trip. So it also gives you ideas of the gaps that exist, what hasn't been studied before, what is lacking out there, where can you basically fit in to the whole research puzzle. All right. Then now for your journey, you will need the right supplies. In the past, when I would go on trips with my parents as well as with my sisters, my mom would always make sure that she would marinate chicken the night before, and then she would put them in the oven the next morning, and the next day we are off. So we'll be munching on drumsticks, all the way there. And that's the same thing that you need for your research trip. You need the right supplies, or you need certain things that are going to help you along the journey. Now, in this context, your data collection tools are going to be your supplies, because they're going to help you to gather the information that you need. Now, what then do I mean by research tools? So that means that if you're going to do a qualitative study, for example, perhaps one of the tools that you would need is maybe conducting interviews or focus group studies. If you're doing a quantitative research, are you going to use surveys? Are you going to use questionnaires? If maybe you're in the sciences, are you going to use research equipment? Are you going to use certain types of tools, like for example X-ray crystallography or whatever the case may be? All of those will help you to gather the information that you need to answer the research question. The data collection itself, so you're actually collecting the data actively, is where the research journey, to be honest, really begins. And we can analogize that as your research drive. So you collect your evidence by interviewing, by surveying, by observing, by reviewing documents, whatever the case may be. Whatever methodology that you're going to use to gather that research, when you are actively collecting that data, that is basically your research drive. So this is where your plan, all the planning that you have done beforehand, actually comes into action. Now, there's a popular saying that says that not every plan really goes according to plan. There are definitely detours that can happen during a journey. You could have a flat tire. You could, run over a pothole. You can literally get lost. Research does not always go smoothly as well. There are many detours that can happen during the journey. Perhaps the people that you thought would be available for your focus group are not there. Maybe you have missed a particular deadline. Maybe participants are being slow in response in responding. If you are in the sciences, for example, you do experiments over and over again, sometimes in triplicates and sometimes even more. And maybe these results and sometimes they just fail to be replicable for some weird reason. Maybe a particular reaction is not reacting the way that you would expect, or that it was reacting yesterday. There are a million and one things that can go wrong or that can detour you along the journey. And this is the messy middle of research. And during this part, it's very important not to panic. One of the things that I also tell my students is that if you knew everything, you wouldn't be in school. If you had all of the knowledge in the world, then you wouldn't be finding out or actively seeking knowledge. So it is okay, to get lost as long as you find your way back. Anything can happen really along the way. And although this is the messy part of research, it sometimes is the most fulfilling. Because from those detours, you can learn from your mistakes, you can guide other people in a better direction. And also, that is where the beauty of research lies in. Sometimes you're just not able to predict what the end result would be, and that's why you're researching on that subject in the first place. The major key is that you need to be organized. You need to be ethical, but also you need to be flexible because anything can happen along the way. Data analysis tries to make sense, of the trip. So after you have collected the data, you need to now make sense of it. So qualitative analysis tries to look for patterns or for themes within your data. If you're looking at quantitative analysis, you're looking at anything that is quantifiable. So that means numbers or percentages, trends or relationships. Analysis helps you to understand what exactly is the data really saying. After that, findings are what the trip has taught you. So let's say, for example, that you did have a detour, you did get lost along the way. Your findings are what your data has revealed to you. So once again, let me emphasize on it that sometimes it's not what you hope to find, which is why research should be free from any form of bias. The evidence of what you have collected is what should show what is the outcome of that research. So good findings are supposed to be honest, they're supposed to be clear, and they're also supposed to be connected to the research question. The write-up is the story that you tell about, your journey or your trip. So after the trip, you now start telling people, the highlights, the surprises that have happened to you along the way. When I was in primary school, we would have what is called comprehension after we have come back from a holiday. So you're expected to write in an essay format how your holiday was. What did you do during your holiday? What trips you went, what games you played with your friends, and whatever the case may be. When you're writing your research report or your write-up, or your thesis or your dissertation, that is part of what I mean. So we can compare that with the story that you would tell your friends and your neighbors or whatever the case may be about your trip. In research, this is basically your write-up. So you explain what you asked, why it mattered, who you asked about this information, where you got the information from, what did you find out, what were the outcomes of the findings, what exactly does that mean? Many people actually believe, in fact, there's so many aspects of your write-up that are important, but one of the major and most important parts of the write-up are your findings and how exactly you discuss those findings. Okay, then finally, the journey has come to an end, the conclusion. This is what brings the journey together. So the conclusion summarizes the main message of the study. After everything was said and done, how exactly are you going to summarize the study to someone? It explains the contributions of the study. One of the things that the conclusion also talks about are the limitations of the study. What are some of the things that it was able to achieve, and what were some of the things that it was not able to achieve? What are the recommendations of the study at the end of the day? And this is when your research now becomes clear or useful to other people. So, if we were to summarize everything once again, what is the research road trip map? Your research question is your destination, your methodology is your route, your literature review is your road intelligence, your data collection tools are what you pack for the journey, the data collection is the drive itself, the detours are the messy middle, the findings are what the trip has taught you, and the write-ups and the conclusion are the stories that you then tell. So research is not just about arriving at an answer. It's also showing the details of how you got to the end point or how you got to the destination. These have got to be clearly communicated. It has got to be clear to the reader or to the examiner of where you started your research study, how you went about it. So everything in between, and then how it ended, or what are the recommendations or the findings or the outcomes of that study. In research, the journey matters as much as the destination. This is Research Methodology with Dr. Pree, where we make research simple, relatable, and even a little bit fun. Which everyday analogy should we use to explain another research concept? Up until next week, stay curious and stay rigorous.